Hello, everyone. Let's get this meeting started. Minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes? And did we have any adjustments needed to make?
See.
Anyone like to motion to approve those minutes?
I move that we approve last month's minutes.
I second it.
All right, minutes are approved. And staff reports.
Don't have much. The Wendell Tunnel, she's supposedly starting this week. Had a little hiccup with her insurance, but it is all, her contract's all ready to go, buttoned up, it's been pressure washed. Signs are up, and we took a parking sign down, so it's just waiting on her to get going. I think, like I said, she was gonna start this week, so. The collaboration project. I just came from the admin meeting presenting that, and we have the consensus to move forward. So they're not making us go through a formal process to get that open up. So I will get in touch with Chip and let him know that it's been approved. And work with him to get him the funds. And lastly, a budget update. We presented our budget to the city commission Monday before last, I believe it was. There were no questions or comments about the public art committee budget, so we expect it will go through as proposed without any problems. That's all I have.
I'm still just so grateful for the pressure washers. Go in and do that. I'm still just like, it tickles me every time I hear it. That's so good.
It's the little things.
Load off.
Yeah, right. Maybe I've got maybe one more thing just as a kind of question under staff report. Wanted to bring up the David Goodson signal box and see if that's something we could still plan to get replaced with our maintenance funds for this fiscal year. I'm just wondering if that's something that's on the in the plans.
I'll add it to our list. I'm working on a art maintenance request form that the public can also submit. I know that we're kind of waiting for it to get nice to go out and look at everything and prioritize what we think that needs to be done. But it's already on.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else? Staff reports, is that it? All right, great. Great. Okay, we could just move right along to dumpster mural project recap. I just wanted to thank everybody for all the work and the effort and the volunteers, especially the city staff and all of the effort you guys put in and all the hours you guys put in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we're just very grateful. And I think it all went really well. I think it sounds like the response has been really great. It was really fun when we were sealing them on Sunday and all the people were kind of coming out of Grant Street and everybody kind of watching all the progress. And yeah, I just quickly put this together so we could kind of add it to our resources tab to kind of just have a record of what all happened. And it sounds like they're all in their locations. I was gonna ask, were you guys able to get the safety labels?
I have them ordered.
Cool.
Luckily I shared it with the transfer station staff and they said that the funnel was wrong, so I was able to get it changed before they printed.
Awesome.
So they're not ready yet, but since they will, we'll go out with them on.
Awesome, great. I'm just thinking with anything else with that. Yeah, it seems like we have enough primer and anti-graffiti sealant to do this at least five more times. So it turns out when you're rolling it instead of spraying it, it takes a lot less. So we've got a lot of supplies. And to the anti-graffiti sealant is kind of a milk consistency. So it doesn't apply very thickly. It was very kind of, yeah, milk. It's the only way I could describe it. So we kind of tried to go over it at least 5 times because it just kind of seemed like it was drying or running off. I'm not sure if doing it with a sprayer would get a different consistency. So if we were to do this again, maybe that's something we would try and see if that kind of gives it a more,
Yeah,
um,
we'll see how it works on these.
yeah, exactly.
It felt like it wasn't doing anything. It felt like we were just like spreading water around on it.
Oh.
It just kind of runs right down.
Yeah, and I wonder for Elise's, I think when she did the graffiti sealant, she used a sprayer, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I can maybe ask her and, or maybe if anybody runs into her, can see if there was any tips or tricks for next time to like consider.
It was very sticky. I didn't see her apply it, but I was out there
Mhm.
shortly after and it was still like tacky where the,
Hmm.
they did were the dumpsters like that or did it
No.
dry it?
It dried in about 10
Instantly?
seconds.
Wow.
Dry to the touch as soon as you put it on.
So it might just be like a difference in surface, you know, especially with the tunnel, it's a little bit more, I don't wanna say porous, because it has all the layers of paint, but just easier to kind of hold on to maybe. But yeah, so we used it, I think not even a third of it until it was, you know.
We stir it. Wonder if there was
So that was.
a bunch of stuff at the bottom that was something that
Mhm.
mixed up.
Has anyone tried to like find a little corner and do a little graffiti on it and see if it washes off?
I haven't tried that actually, I just
Just
think
like-
about that. I didn't even think to stir it, just because when I've used graffiti sealants for, when I tried to do the dumpsters last time, it was the same thing, it was like a really milky consistency, and it was just like, but I mean, that could be something nice. We'll kind of just double check that, you know, that wasn't kind of like separated in any way, but
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
Learning curve.
Yeah, is this a project that we think we would wanna kind of recommend again at some point?
I think so.
I think so.
I think overall, it's, yeah, the response has just been great, and getting to make opportunities for local artists is also really great, so. I definitely agree that this is something we could consider again in the future.
Seemed like the artists were enjoying it,
Mm,
Yeah,
you know, like we stopped by 3 or 4 times throughout the weekend and just checked in and. Putting a smile.
hopefully Zach's able to get all the primer off of himself.
Still on.
We very much appreciate his efforts. He is a trooper.
He is a good sport.
He's gonna bring it. He is. Is there any other kind of thoughts or anything before we move on? You know, one thing I did think about is we didn't factor into like the labels, any sort of thing that says this was like a project of HPAC in the city of Helena.
Mhm.
And that could be something, you know, potentially even if we looked at like taking from like a promotion budget or something like that. But perhaps that's something we'd wanna consider. It'd be an easy thing, it can just kind of go on the sides, kind of like the Rodney
We
one.
just print up some stickers and use them on everything.
Mhm.
Are the artist names on them?
Yes, they all did sign them.
Mhm.
Because maybe it could be something like that. This thing by so and so. For the, I don't know, art commissions.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like easy enough to do, and I could just kind of match it to the colors of the other labels. If that's something, but maybe I could, is that something I probably wanted to sign up and I could show at our next meeting, or is that something you guys would feel comfortable with me just doing the designs?
Yeah.
If that's something that
Totally
you want to do.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, go by there.
Or if you don't have time, I'm happy to do that too.
Sure, okay. But is that something we want to make a kind of formal recommendation on, or is that something that,
Sure, I move that we design labels for dumpsters.
I think it should just say everything that it says there. I mean, not the location, but the name of it by the person and sponsored by us.
yeah, I think that sounds great. Easy enough to do.
Sure.
Could I get a second? Would anyone be
Oh,
want
I'll
to second that
second.
motion? Okay. All right, so then everyone in favor of us using some promotion dollars to print some HPAC labels for these dumpsters, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, great. All right, thanks, everybody. Let's see, and then see, next up, the big kahuna, future project recommendation brainstorming session.
Was
So,
that person?
oh, you're right, I got my,
Yeah, sorry.
I got my things out of order.
We had to add it, I missed it the other day, so.
Totally, all right, well, yeah, let's just, we can probably quickly get through this and then kind of move on to the meat and potatoes. So as we've been talking about, for some time, we'd like to put together a letter of recommendation to the city commission to consider a percent for art, public art, ordinance for the city of Helena. And so basically in this letter, it kind of lists out generally how it works, that, you know, Missoula and Bozeman have some models, that we'd really like for them to look to, especially Missoula's ordinance has a lot of language that, I think would work really great for Helena. But yeah, I've never written a letter of recommendation before, but I would, yeah, I can give everyone a little bit of time to kind of go through this, and then maybe we could talk about whatever edits we'd like to see. Ready for us to keep scrolling?
Yeah.
We all right to scroll to the bottom here?
Yes.
Not much more.
It's really well written. Thank you.
Yeah. And hopefully this can kind of serve as our base for any future letters of recommendation too, just so we have an idea of what to do.
Yeah.
I kind of just look to HCCs to kind of start.
So would this mean that like on the buildings of new construction, it would need to allocate space as well for public art, or is it just part of their budget goes to a general fund for public art? But then we choose locations or the city chooses locations
I mean, I think
on the new construction?
I think generally it's for those kind of new or remodeled projects, so that way, whether it's on the inside of the building, the outside of the building, or on that property. And then in Missoula's case, they then have a portion that goes to that public art trust fund that then kind of is able to allocate some dollars elsewhere. But yeah, I just kind of dove deeper into Missoula's ordinance, and I really liked how they kind of outlined all of those sections, the sections, so that way it could all just be in one place. I mean, we have the Helena Public Art Ordinance already, but just to really kind of further define some of these things. And
That's great.
yeah, and especially to just trying to, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but
Do you think it would be a good idea to offer them a way out of paying a percent if they just fund some art themselves and include art in their construction. If somebody's gonna spend a bunch of money on putting a sculpture on the corner of their new apartment complex, that might be more effective than what we would do with it.
Mm. Well, I think in this ordinance, it's typically speaks to just like the city's capital improvement projects, not like any kind of new property owner.
Right, so it would be like the benefits building.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So,
City.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that too. What is an eligible construction project?
and I think that would be up to the commission to define, and I think in this ordinance, it lays out, and then it lists the departments that are kind of exempt. But it does encourage those departments to still consider, allocating budgets.
Okay.
But the hope is that, granted, I don't think Helena has too many like big new construction projects in the works, but if and when it does, it would allow kind of art and artists to be kind of proactively engaged instead of reactively engaged in these things. And just to find more opportunities that wouldn't have existed otherwise.
Yeah,
I have a question, the way I'm reading this, does it mean like, say they're building, remodeling a building and they're spending $500,000 that they need to have $500,000 plus 1% that goes to the art?
It's 1%. Yeah, it's whatever 1% of their five.
So then they have to either,
1.5
Yeah, 1.5, or yeah, but like,
for
1.5
maintenance as well.
oh, it's 1.5 total, okay, I thought it was 0.5 and 0.5. So then, does that money go to? They have to take that 0.5% and make some art at the project.
Yes, I think the 1% would then go towards
The creation.
the creation of or the procurement of that art, and then the 0.5%, I think in Missoula's case, goes to like a maintenance fund.
Maintenance, yeah.
So then for when those projects need maintenance down the line, there's already kind of a pot to help kind of pay for those kind of.
Well, I guess my point on that paragraph might be that it might need to be clearer. I mean, I don't know if that's how it's written in Missoula, but the first time I read it, I didn't even see the park and building and structure. I was thinking, 1% of a $5 million road and because that's what I think of with capital improvements. So it's like, I don't know, there might be a simpler way to lay that out.
Yeah, and I did originally take it out and I could put it back in where it does say that list that, there are exemptions and departments that are exempt.
Yeah,
But it would be up to the commission, right, to lay all of those guidelines out.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, if we had like for a total of 1.5% of
right.
the budget,
I think that should
maybe
be in there
just
too.
I don't know if it'd be up to the commission, it would probably be up to the city
sure.
staff to help to try and craft that to then be approved by the commission,
There.
probably with their comments and thoughts and considerations.
I think this would be really important because Helena will grow significantly in the next decade or
Oh,
two.
yeah.
And, like this lays the groundwork for the future of Helena to be solidly art focused, which I think is a beautiful idea.
So maybe can you kind of point out exactly which paragraph that is?
Yes,
Maybe we can
it's-
kind of rework it right here.
Yeah,
right now.
it's the 1, 2, 3, third paragraph from the top.
Is this a PDF or an editable?
It's a PDF.
I wonder if it's good. So let's see, so how do you think we can maybe make that a little bit more clear?
I would combine that third and fourth paragraph and then add for a total of 1.5% to go towards creation and maintenance. To just like create a synopsis sentence. And just combine those two sections so that it's a little more cohesive.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just strike the words capital improvement And say costs of city projects to construct or remodel. Cause my brain just stopped right on that. I mean, there's enough stuff I do for work, so it just
Totally.
like.
Yeah, and I think it made more sense when I listed out what some of those exemptions could be.
Yeah. Well, you mean like, this doesn't include roads and sidewalks and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah,
Like like I think in Missoula's, it's like their Department of Transportation, it's exempt. But still
well, I
encouraged.
think if it says. City building, structure, park, or portion thereof. It's pretty clear that it's just those things.
Mhm.
I don't know, I guess either way.
Yes, maybe we can remove capital and then combine paragraphs 3 and 4. And that should help kind of. To feel a little bit more concise.
Do like parking garages fall under DOT?
I'm not sure.
Great campuses.
I feel like those are owned by the city.
Yeah, they're
Depends,
city.
Yeah.
like our facilities department builds the parking garages, but the parking garages are maintained and ran by the parking division, which is under the parking.
It's still under the
Still
city.
city, it's still city. Yeah. So yeah, I guess you wouldn't wanna take out. Departments of any kind, just. Leave it at that, cause it says structure, so that could include. parking structure.
Yeah, and then the city can kind of then make those recommendations of what departments they feel are. Would
It's feasible
make
for
the most
this.
sense, yeah.
That's good groundwork to start the conversation and get people discussing it.
Absolutely. Are there any other kind of thoughts for edits that anyone can kind of think of off their head?
It's a great launch point.
You
Thanks for putting it
much.
together.
Yeah, great.
It's a lot of work.
Are there any thoughts from the public comment they'd like to us to kind of consider?
Yes.
I think it's a really great letter too. I'm super excited. I would, if you could, potentially think about beefing up kind of the economic impact and tourist. I think commissioners are really motivated by numbers and data. So if there's any way to kind of like dig that up and like what the ROI might look like for them, I think that could also just add.
Show the benefits.
What is your first and last name?
It's Ashley Tubbs.
Could we see those points that are listed above? Or maybe it's down, okay, yeah, I just wanna look at, just make sure there's nothing redundant in there, just.
Yeah, I took each of those that were all just the actual line items in Missoula's ordinance.
Okay, yeah. See,
I think that the TBID would also be interested in supporting your letter. It's the Tourism Business Improvement District, so you might consider talking to their board chair. It could be a combined effort.
I keep getting hung up with the criteria to be used in selection of public art and then selection process for public art. I don't know if there's a way of combining it, but
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly how it laid it out. I know one was saying that, some could be, one list like gifts, or working directly with an artist, or artist comes to the city, it kind of lists those different avenues in which like opportunities. And hopefully too, this could kind of help us with, potentially better defining future jury selection as well. I think these are all great thoughts. And since this isn't pressing, maybe I could take these comments and work on this the next month and then be able to us to quickly review it one more time next month and approve it to send to the commission. Because then, if there is other kind of community buy-in that we can kind of get that support, I think that would be a great thought. All right, well, that works for me, if that works for everybody else.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right, now we're on to the future project recommendation brainstorming session. So the thought with this is to kind of create a catalog of potential ideas. And then from here, us as committee members could kind of choose what ideas we'd like to further research and develop to then consider for recommendation this October. And so we would want to kind of approve those to then define them for recommendation before October. And then knowing as we go through this process that some of these ideas might need years to, more than just up until October to develop, and more community collaborators, but that's just kind of something to keep in mind. And I had like a big white sheet I was gonna like write on, but I didn't bring it, so I'll just use my little notes here as we kind of go through. But I mean, there's kind of a few ways we could think about this in terms of kind of issues that art could solve, or we think about it in terms of which neighborhoods and then which projects could benefit there. As far as my first point, like things like walkability or blight or things like that, and knowing that these things can kind of be combined. But yeah, right now I think it'd be fun just to kind of put a lot of ideas out there, and we could just kind of keep this as a catalog, and as we get more information and develop, we could add it to that catalog, with documentation. And that way, when it does come time to recommend these, we can kind of focus on the ones that are more hashed out and fully developed, and then go from there.
I know when Lou Archibald was on, he had recommended a wall for a mural that was above base camp. That one, and I looked at that ever since he said that, and I was like, yeah,
That's the one I was talking about
it's a good one.
last week.
It would be a really great one, and it would be awesome because it's facing the women's mural. And it would be really, I think that could be a really dynamic spot to brainstorm.
I didn't even notice the wall.
I know, and now that I've seen it, I can't not see it.
Great spot. Yeah,
It is. But it's on a skyline that could be really.
yeah, that would be a flagship mural.
And I'm still really excited about the sound bell in Memorial.
Mhm.
Oh, what's that? The sound bell in Memorial Park.
The bandstand.
Advancements, yeah,
Yeah,
great project.
I have one. And it's pretty isolated, and it is really an eyesore. And it's in a neighborhood. There's the place, I call it the nature park, but it's between Villard and McHugh. On Cherry Street, though, if you drive up Cherry, there's this large white, looks like a billboard that it just kind of like blocks out the view. You would see, if it wasn't there, you'd see Mount Helena. And so I asked someone in the neighborhood about it, and it used to be, I think, owned or initially put up by CenturyLink. It's some kind of transmitter for, I'm not that technical, but anyway, they've asked about it, and then CenturyLink or whichever telecommunication business operates it now keeps on referring them to the city. And they haven't found really which office in the city would be involved with that. But it'd be a perfect place for a mural. And I think it would be a great opportunity for artists to compete on how to replace what is being blocked by that big massive piece of white billboard-like thing. Yeah, I mean,
And you have
that's
it
on my
in-
mind, something, some surreal, real, photorealistic mural up there of what you're missing on the other
Right,
side.
yeah,
of
this
it.
is downtown, yeah.
Totally.
I just pulled it up on my phone and saying, because we all go by it. and it's-
Yeah, every time I see it, it just really irritates me.
Yeah.
And it's not like I have to go out of my way to see it. And I think I go out of my way so I can be irritated by it, but yeah. But it's been up there for so many years and I don't even know if it's actually used anymore.
It has a fence all around it like it's not a billboard, you know?
No, it isn't a billboard. It has some kind of, or did have some method of transmitting
Yeah.
waves.
Good one.
of God only knows what.
Yeah, I would be curious to know if now the city technically does own it, or if it's just like this kind of weird in-between
Yeah,
thing. But that would be great to kind of learn more about it, try and figure out some of those questions.
yeah, I don't know how many people it would actually, benefit by having a mural or some image on it. But anyone that drives down here.
People walk in
probably
that park all the
benefit from
time
it.
though.
Yeah, yeah,
Or maybe it's no longer functioning and we could. tear it
yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, I think they've attempted to find out how to do that, but
Helena Public Construction.
Yeah, there's the exception clause in there.
not necessarily realistic, but
Put it on the board, this is idea.
Yeah, I love it.
I have three that I've been kicking around.
Awesome.
One is crosswalks. Cool crosswalks downtown, they have that in all the big cities and the hip neighborhoods.
seen
And I think
those.
our downtown, maybe at like Sixth Avenue and Last Chance or Last Chance outside the New Union. These are little kind of meccas where people gather. It might be cool to have a colorful crosswalk or something cool there.
Or something that slows down. I know my daughter lives in Oakland and in their neighborhood. People use the street to kind of get around some heavy duty traffic between Telegraph and College. But the murals, the purpose of the mural was to basically slow down the traffic because people driving would slow down to look at what's on the street. But yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, it feels like you're going into a space.
Yeah.
You naturally slow down and calm down. Another one is welcome to Helena signs on the east and west entrances. There's one that's like put there by fraternal organizations or something. And it just kind of looks weird, like, oh, Rotary's here. Moanis is here. And that makes it seem like they own Helena. Because they're the ones welcoming you to Helena. But maybe we could do something different there. And then the west side doesn't have anything telling you that
Right,
you're entering
yeah.
Helena. Maybe a sign or maybe a sculpture or something. And then the other one is Constitution Park is just a shame all around. The Constitution is rather non-functional. Nobody seems to know how it even got there. It has been
Yeah.
dubiously placed there, and it's right in the spot where the BID was hoping to put a bathroom. But they're having troubles figuring out where to put the bathroom because they don't want to just create a chaotic space for people to sleep and
Yeah.
put garbage in.
I think the problem is it's already a chaotic space. It's just a really challenging space.
And that wall that has the wrong caps or painting on it is just falling apart.
Yeah,
The time capsule, you can't tell what that's about.
Oh.
It just looks like industrial wasteland.
Yeah, it was so many nice little ideas, but none that could be sustained, that were just kind of temporary, was supposed to be temporary. Minus it's a safe in the wall, that's not supposed to be temporary.
Yeah, that's kind of the heart of downtown. And when people come to town, that's one spot everybody ends up.
Yeah.
And we could make that really nice.
I think too, I agree, I've thought about that for so long. And I think too, when we start to kind of hash out some of these things, it'll be good to kind of figure out what some of those challenges might be.
Yeah.
So we can kind of figure that into the very collaborative.
Top of the list from
Maybe even hiring professional park designer to come in and brainstorm ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that park, yeah, it's so beloved, but it is, could do so much more, it's like, there's so many nice little ideas at the time, but it
Yeah.
doesn't feel very
But it is
cohesive.
probably the most populated park in Helena,
Yeah,
you know?
and it is the
In terms of
center of
use,
downtown.
you know.
Yeah, it could be a nice performance space,
Mhm.
it could be,
I think what's challenging too is that US Bank owns it, and
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure because that's the side of their building. And so that's what also makes it challenging when they aren't looking to kind of invest.
Well, maybe we just need to.
Yeah,
It was cool when they had that snowboard thing down there.
yeah, that was a good use.
I know, I thought, wow.
Yeah.
Brought people down there.
Right.
It was great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or even like, yeah, Last Chance Gulch mural, it is really like the heart.
Yeah. And if it's privately owned, then like they'll just need some noise to like be motivated, probably,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like to that project might take a couple of us kind of figuring out some of that who, what, when, where, why, and especially, with kind of all the different folks we know around town of kind of getting in their ear.
Mhm.
Because I think especially when we think of these projects that are not necessarily like city owned, it would have to have that community, buy-in and more entities, probably more than, or it would probably be an easier and more effective that way.
Right.
All great ideas, Max.
What about that space that's, it's a performance space, you don't see very many performances there, but it's between Sixth and Broadway,
At the Placer.
near the Placer. and-
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was the Placer space when they used to use it and have a lot of stuff. They had a lot of stuff going on in there for a while.
Performance Square?
Performance
Okay.
Square, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the Dennis McMahon 150th anniversary mural there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that performance space has a wall on the back that's just asking for art, and I know it's a space that has a lot of kind of vandalism problems,
Mhm.
but it's something that hopefully art could help to kind of enliven that space.
Maybe some light
Mm-hmm.
installment.
No, I think that mural does have lights above it, but they're not so bright that it lights
Yeah.
the whole space that it might need. Or maybe if, I think it depends on the art potentially and the artist and kind of the community buy-in of the people that live in that space and kind of having their involvement. But yeah, that was one of the ones on my list of blank spaces was the
Mhm.
back of that performance square. And there's also I took a walk on the walking mall the other day to kind of try and figure out blank potentially city-owned spaces. Yeah, and that wish I had a bigger screen. But yeah, that back of the performance square is one of them. That guy. And then
Do you mean just the stage or that upper part?
it could be either. Right now, I was thinking just where it's all painted gray
Yeah.
from all the vandalism, where they just try and cover the tags.
Mhm.
But I mean, that whole wall could be
That could be
something like
so cool.
that could then be thinking of things in terms of like a landmark and walkability
Mhm.
and because it really is the public art landmarks that people kind of go to along the walking mall, and we could think of these art projects in terms of that and like
Yeah.
Be a faux ghost art.
that would be so cool. There's so many opportunities there. The other one that I noticed is it's across from Brothers Tap Works. It's that big brown wall that overlooks the fire tower. And I'm not sure, I think that would be city owned because it's got some picnics there. I'd have to look into it a little bit more.
I can, just to go back to Constitution Park, it is city owned.
Just the wall is.
Wow.
The wall
Mhm.
is.
Well, I'm talking about Constitution Park, so I'll look up that
Yeah,
one.
Constitution Park's the city park.
But I believe
Oh, the wall.
there's
Go on.
the name of the building that used to be here, but that's kind of just another spot because it's got all the picnic benches in front of it.
Okay,
And
It's a nice spot.
yeah, and then the third that I saw was this gray wall next to the Rocky Mountain Development Center, kind of in that tucked in next to Anchor Park. That's also painted gray, vandalism.
that leads down to the tunnel, right? That wall.
It's right to the right of it
Yeah,
and right to the of all that stuff and. But I was thinking of those, those could be, they're not so big that, they're. Where they would need, where I feel like a lot of, how even Helen artists could apply for something of that scale.
Beginning.
Yeah, and I feel like they're small enough, it could be fun to think of them in terms of like. If artists did it even during like the summer arts festival or something, and it was kind of like a live painting. But that could be kind of something to explore. I think the only other spot that I have is, I think it's technically Tower Hill, but they have cinder blocks that kind of run along Anchor Park. But they also get a lot of, vandalism.
Mhm.
But it kind of just, I thought it was a great opportunity to kind of increase the walkability of, trying to go from that tunnel up into like the Rodney district.
The stairway that goes from Park Avenue up to, what is the street back here?
To Ming Street or something.
Ming?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's public, isn't it? It's like 500 steps
Yeah,
or
it's a long
something, but it seems like it'd be,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see
Steps have
something happen.
Words on them or a story or something.
Yeah,
That would be really cool.
a lot of
That
work.
would be a nice destination,
Yeah.
though, that people would go out of their way to see something
Yeah.
like that.
Maybe really fun.
Kind of like, a little secret garden, but secret stairway.
I know in the past too, when we were kind of going through the same process, it might have even been Paige mentioned the Henderson Avenue underpass as well as another spot. It's that road that goes to the fairgrounds. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got the cement along the way that also kind of experiences
That's a great idea.
vandalism
Yeah.
sometimes.
The railroad goes over.
Yes, thank you. So it's like a railroad underpass. But that's something I think would be good to get some more of the who, when, where, why on, and kind of just to kind of further kind of hash out that.
Is that in city limits?
Yeah.
Yes,
That would be a neat one to kind of look at sculptural ideas. We haven't done sculpture since the guitar. I think it would be neat to kind of envision something that was 3D.
I
You know,
100% agree.
Have a project that, whether you guys want, I brought it up last year, but, that we would like to do, that does not necessarily have to come from you guys if it's not what you want to pick up, but, is over at the Law and Justice Center doing some sort of, sculptures. We're doing that garden this year. Our landscape design has some seating in it and some benches and things like that as well. We've been in contact with this company. I can't think of the name of them right now, but they make outdoor seating out of recycled windmill parts. And they can make them all different ways, but you can get them just primed and then have them painted like artists or things like that, similar to like what we did for dumpsters, and we've seen a lot of those designs. They're pretty neat. What's nice is that strip, Fuller Avenue, is where the farmers market is. So, making that space more inviting with having a place to sit down and enjoy the garden and have something maybe that's law enforcement friendly as far as like a sculpture, just throwing ideas around, like, police officer and a canine, or maybe an officer holding a child's hand, or, something like that you see all the big cities. But would like to liven that area up with something like that essentially.
that would be really fun. Yeah, and that would be a high traffic format as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's that long line of grass across the front of it that you see that goes all the way from basically where the sign is, all the way down to across from Cheddar's.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge space. It's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fun to explore. Another I thought I had, in terms of kind of our maintenance plan that we put together. It's 6 Ave parking garage that has the climb mural, the youth mural. Turns 25 years old in the fiscal year that we're planning for. And so that could be an opportunity, instead of preserving that, to bring in a new group of youth artists, like from Attack Holter or something, to do a new, current day version of
That's true, yeah.
whatever they want,
That one, I feel like last time we were trying to figure out if
It's
they're going
water
to fix it,
damage.
because it's just water damage and the building's getting kind of run down.
The new artwork would also get damaged.
Yeah.
Quickly is what we were concerned about.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think we looked at it, was it, how much damage was there?
Quite a lot of.
Quite a
it's
lot.
falling apart, Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you could paint on it. It's like the cement just crumbles, yeah.
Well, maybe if we say we want to do a mural there, then it would, but you would have to then go and actually give that, yeah.
When they power wash it, it'll just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could maybe be the way we get that mural maintained, is just restarting the whole process.
There's your sculpture.
Yeah.
3D.
Relief sculptures.
Another thing that we could consider, because I think this last round we were doing signal boxes, if we wanted to then pitch dumpsters again, since this would be kind of planning so far in advance. Since that kind of seemed like an easy enough win. I say easy because I didn't have to stay here for 12 hours. Right. Thank you.
No,
You got the process down.
Yeah, and we have the primer. And there's a lot more dumpsters to go around.
Yeah.
I drove by somewhere just today and I thought, that dumpster's ugly. That one should be painted. And I wish I could remember where it was, because it was somewhere that seemed like it should have a nice dumpster. If there was such a thing.
What cracks me up is now what my husband said when we drove by the one here by Dallas. He's like, now the cardboard one looks so terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot.
I think the one I was thinking of is it's the one that sits in the middle of Cruise Ave by the recycle.
Oh, yeah. That's right, we discussed the recycle bins
Oh, we
before
did.
too.
Is there anything down by where the restore used to be and Pacific Steel? Is there any city owned property down there? Cause that would be a really neat area to do something reclaimed, to like commission someone to do a reclaimed sculptural.
Yeah,
Put something on the trail, next to the trail.
yeah, something
Yeah,
that faces
yeah.
the-
Cause that would be kind of a neat partnership maybe if Pacific Steel would donate the materials and we could find some welders or something. But I do like the idea of pushing out of downtown a little bit too, or like anything in the valley. That's still in the city, but taking a look at some of the other corners. Our community. Working with the 6th Ward and the couple of projects that we have has been really fun. To see those things go.
Totally. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the 6th Ward and, in the Rodney area too, in terms of kind of community collaborations.
You can keep putting them up in Rodney. It works for me because I live right there.
But then like maybe over by the
Right,
hospital complex and, over in that area,
That's
like
what
I
I
don't
was
think we
thinking.
have anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of walls over there too.
Uh-huh. Much about it.
Yeah, I've kind of been waiting to see who buys the St. John's building
There
before
you
I go and
go.
introduce myself.
It's true.
You put a mural on your wall? But yeah, because I think for my plan long ago with the back of the parole building was the thought of it has all of those, it's got the one that wraps around, but then it has a big square. I think it has 4 or 5 more big squares And originally my vision was, every year it could be like raise money for a new muralist until like the whole Pearl building is just this huge,
Creative.
yeah, kind of creative, I don't want to say collab, but yeah, mishmash of different artists
Right.
and would then kind of make that a landmark in itself
Mhm.
more than just the one wraparound. So I think that's something we could potentially, think about or at least kind of I might look into, or some of those other funding sources might be and who might be interested in something like that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Hey Jeannie, do you have any other ideas you want to put down? I know you had Constitution Park as well, which is that's a big one.
What are the logistics, do you think, of crosswalks? Do you have any idea?
Talk to the transportation, get some thoughts on that.
That might be a fun one to rotate in with like the dumpsters and the traffic signal boxes. That's another like doable weekend or like.
Yeah, it'd be great too to talk to Anna Lund with the TAC Holder, because they did the crosswalks, but they were kind of disintegrated in about 2 weeks. So maybe finding out
I wonder.
what we could maybe do to make them last, knowing that crosswalk murals would only last a summer, technically, especially I think Helena gets so beat up
Yeah.
with sand and gravel, unless they were ones that were on the walking wall, potentially too, but I think it's okay to even think of things in terms of temporary solutions,
There are
so
the
then
art
see if
clubs
it
at the high
does.
schools too. I think that they both have art clubs as well.
I do wonder if that one teacher ever made the crosswalks happen. Do you guys remember that
Yeah.
girl that came in?
Yeah, she was looking for Broadwater School or something.
I wonder if that ever happened.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, but it'd be good to kind of, I wonder kind of what insight Anna might have to how we could do that in a way that would
Mhm.
last, get it to last.
You
a
can even
little
make it
longer.
so that like the senior class every year does the crosswalk.
Yeah,
I know they used to do the sign out by Helena High and then
Yeah.
changed the sign. It got like this big. Not as fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah, would you guys be all right with me kind of opening up to our public comment to see what other kind of thoughts and ideas we might have? Well, and then if you guys would like to share anything, maybe just just share your name. If you haven't already.
I have a short one.
You go.
Okay. Megan Malkin. So I have a business in 6th Ward. I did the Rail Yard mural with David Goodson, and I just talked to building owners around there and other business owners, and there's definitely cool opportunities in that neighborhood. The first one being Stone Tree. I know that they are Megan and Bob have been talking about doing one on the side of their building. Potentially roping in the part of town in the railroad district so that we can use some TIF funding for that too. So that would be fun because that's next door to me. And then Mike Marlowe, who owns Information it's just a blank canvas. It's the color of these walls. Information Business Systems are. Do you guys know who I mean?
Yeah, it's that one right next to Vanilla.
It's a fairly boring looking building, but it's ready, canvas ready. And he and his wife were talking about doing like a Montana wildflower mural, which is incredible. So I'm just working solo, I guess, to connect them to an artist. But I mean, I would love to work with you guys and other groups to get a mural up for them, because I mean, they would love to see that happen too. So, and then John Iverson, who owns the Larson Block, which is the biggest historic storefronts possibly in town, but right across from Beatty Park. Do you guys know where I mean? So he just emailed me back today, and we are going to chat about painting his building and potentially in a community volunteer, let's love on the 6th Ward type of way, where it doesn't necessarily have a huge price tag, but it could be more of like a community collaboration. Everybody grabs a paintbrush and we make it pretty. So that's pretty fun. I'm gonna have other ideas, but I don't know if I'm ready to share all those.
Cool. Oh, this is great. It's good to know.
There's a teensy building that Blue Collar Barber was most recently in there. It's right behind Slate Architecture. And Becky Brandborg owns that building, and I've been chatting with her, and she's open to anything on that building. So that could be something, if somebody has an idea, like she's totally open to just making that building like, because it's small, but like making it like awesome.
There's been a lot of businesses in that little place.
Well, it's really been a stepping stone place for them to grow. The barbershop outgrew it and bought a building, and they're doing great. So yeah, she loves, it's literally like a little cinder block to bump business up in Helena. It's the best.
Business incubator.
Can I do my last one? This one, I don't know why it's like near and dear to my heart. I told you about it. When you mentioned like collaborating with like getting like steel and stuff from, I always call it Pacific Heights, but whatever it's called now.
Pacific Steel.
Pacific Steel. Sorry, been here my life, so everything. I want to do a project in Beatty Park. That I want to call the Love Lock Project. So it would basically be like love locks that you see on bridges all over the world. They have one in Missoula. People just do it just rogue, and it becomes an infrastructure hazard. It gets too heavy, and the locks have to get cut off. And so that, I mean, I love the idea. And so I thought if we worked with Helena College or even got some steel donated and created like 3 arches, so there's 0 maintenance to parks, where people can come and do like love locks all over the whole thing. I just think it'd be a cool destination, because of course I'm thinking for my own business and for the 6th ward to become even more of a place that people want to come down into. And even that far down, there's not a lot unless you're going to Haps, you know. And so to bring people down into that part, in that park and that part of town, I think would be really cool, especially if we just bring in social media with hashtags and stuff, you know, like I think it could be a really fun thing to be part of. So I've been dreaming that one up for like a year and a half.
I just was somewhere, I'm gonna have to think about it. And it's, they had something else instead of locks that they put in the fence. And I think you had to buy it, like, so it was a little donation to the fence. And I don't know if it was in New York, because that's the only place I've been lately. So I was just looking up alternatives, but I don't see it.
I just love the interactiveness of it and the positivity of it, and the fact that it's a physical structure that you can like experience and walk through. I don't know. I just think it's kind of, yeah, it would be cool. Just need some steel.
Yes. Like different lots, different places.
That could
like
be,
if there were art on them.
that could be super fun. I mean, I'm just up the street, so. But it'd be fun if we brought it, you know, combined it with downtown Helena and made it a thing. Or maybe did multiple ones around town.
Dot to dot.
Okay, I'm done public commenting.
It's great to hear how many fun things are happening in the 6th ward. I think a big thanks to you.
I mean, I'm trying to stir it up.
Yeah, and definitely kind of let me know if you get a hold of the Rotary Club. Or like let us know, and then I think us as a committee too, just keep us in the loop with these of even just whatever, you know, tips we can help with, or trying to source artists or anything like that. Just kind of keep us in the loop. But it's cool to hear there's so many blank canvases around, right? Yeah, any other public comment?
I just have one. For the Helena signing, I've kind of been in HCC, I've been like, oh, we should have some Helena signs, but it's a kind of gone down our priority list because it's not dealing with public safety. So this would be more of your wheelhouse, but maybe something that's a bit more mobile, easier to move, because Helena boundaries, they're going to move. They're going to expand. So maybe not a statue, but a sign that is a bit more easier to move would be nice.
Good to consider. Yeah, any other public comment?
Yeah, this is actually, again, I just have one thing to mention, and then I think the rest of my comments are probably better suited for the public comment agenda item. But you read my mind about the signage coming into town. I think you're right on track there, specifically on the west end. But then also, and I have a vested interest, which I'll tell you about later, I think going from kind of into the downtown where First Interstate Bank is at and where there's another bank, I think it's Stockman's right there, kind of in that big. When you're coming in from the western side of town, the city's master plan is for that to be like the grand entrance into downtown. So I think having some sort of art or sculpture in that area would be fantastic. And coming back to my comment earlier about the T-bid, I think that they would also be very interested in that from a tourism standpoint, the signage of welcoming visitors to town. And they have quite a large fund of money to be available for those types of investments. So I think that one has a lot of potential.
Is the T-bid the same as Visit Helena? Are they two separate
They
organizations?
are separate. So the T bid is all of the general managers and the owners of hotels in town. So they put all the certain percentage of their funds together for this pot of money. And then it's the Visit Helena grant that disperses that money. So it's technically their money, but Visit Helena is kind of the staff people for that board that disperses the grant funds. Yep.
It's great. So maybe again, in terms of next steps, it seems like I think all of these ideas are definitely worth pursuing. Would everyone feel comfortable with kind of what they brought to the table, kind of doing some of that kind of project planning, like the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, challenges, documentation, square footage, just whatever kind of information we can get to kind of get a better picture of these ideas. And Jeannie, maybe I'd love for you to kind of help me with, since I've got quite a few people want to help me with some of those. That would be great. We can kind of just chat separately. And then maybe before our next meeting, we could all kind of compile that into one. And then we could start to kind of go through it and really start to talk these out more and talk about what that would, would look like and what else, we might need to consider, or who else might need to kind of be brought to the table for those things, and then can figure out, okay, is this kind of priority for this year, or then the bigger planning for then, for some of these bigger things for, we would then recommend.
Start putting some stuff on the timeline.
Definitely.
If you need a third to vet another idea, I have room for one more. We have one task item
Okay.
online, so I could take on another one.
Great. Well, let's see, let's maybe kind of find those. Yeah, maybe if you wouldn't mind, look at the Law and Justice Center. Sure. Get some photos, and because I think too, it's anything that kind of can do with like 3D things, and maybe that Henderson House as well. But especially kind of due to its proximity to Archie Gray, it could be really cool to think of things as 3D.
Yeah, it's kind of on the way to the Archie Bray. They might be interested in having something one way.
Yeah.
Would you like me to get square footage estimates on some mural spaces?
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe that wall in the park or at Anchor Park, I can look at that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Might be hard to estimate that one above Birds and Beasley's.
Yeah. Might be able to like use, I think, like phone things. You can get just a general idea.
I don't know how accurate it is. Yeah, I'll try it.
But yeah, I think especially for that wall, trying to figure out who all owns property, who owns that.
Right, that whole block.
Yeah, this project. There's a lot of, people right there with Birds and Beasley's base camp. Yeah, who technically would own that building. Is that enough kind of you're gonna kind of get us started into this next,
I'll get the performance square too.
that would be wonderful. Yeah, and that one across from Tapworks.
Okay, yeah.
And I work right down there, so if you.
We just walk around with my phone and
Okay.
scan it.
And whatever you can kind of find on that CenturyLink
Oh,
transmitter,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
very
I
curious.
It's that website that tells you the owners of.
I'm looking, I could ask.
Fit Astro.
There it is. That's-
That's what I was playing with on my phone.
I'm like, who do I need to talk to?
And Megan, if you could get me kind of photos of some of those blank walls,
Yeah.
too, which would kind of document that and catalog those.
Sure.
Would be great. Right, any other thoughts before we move on?
I'll also look at crosswalk substrates.
Yes.
How they do them in Seattle versus why they fall apart here.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Annalyn might know a little bit more about that.
My understanding of that project was it was never meant to be permanent,
Right,
but it was meant to be very temporary.
temporary.
Yeah.
It was just a
So
little
I
bit
don't
more
think that
temporary
they
than
went. Yeah,
They didn't get the thick stuff that's,
I think they got road paint, but I don't think that they. I don't think it was
yeah,
ever
the
intended
stuff
to
they use
be
in
like.
Seattle is
a
like
permanent
this
thing.
thing. It's like
Right.
quite, it's like a layer of asphalt.
It was more about the event than it was about the product, was my understanding.
You know, there's one more blank wall that I forgot to put on this list that I want to think of. And you would know about it. It's that stairwell that's right across from 10 Mile. That has the glass,
Oh, yeah.
where it's the metal block.
Yeah.
And I know that has experienced kind of vandalism in the past of just the tagging and things like that, but
It's pretty visible, so I think it could be better monitored if there was reason to do so.
That would be a neat one for a light installation,
yeah.
'cause it's fully sheltered and transparent.
Yeah, I could do a little bit of digging at, once the medical block and start to kind of hash some of those ideas out.
You put graphics on the glass.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to think about it that's more than just mural.
Right, yeah.
Even though it's like we're getting pretty good at it.
We are getting. But also when you think about like the long life of our committee and wanting people to stay engaged and excited, having multiple media on the docket, I think is a nice way to keep.
And I think too, the trick is just, knowing those that have that, context to know.
Yeah, and realizing like, well, for some of those sculptural things, like you have to be in league with engineers as well. And, getting some of those systems in place so that those projects get easier over time.
Yeah. And just the cost of those, the upfront cost is a lot more, but
Right, the
probably the
learning
maintenance in
curve.
the long run is less. but-
Yeah, and our membership right now is really well suited to like do that, the learning curve part,
Absolutely.
So when we think about longevity planning.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, and then I'll look at my list and then you and I can kind of pick through it here in the next couple weeks and figure out how we can, what else there is to figure out. Yeah, thanks everybody. Let's see, public art event and promotion opportunities. All I was gonna mention was that the Summer Art Festival is coming up in a couple months for July 15th through the 21st. And I just was gonna kind of put this out there, of course, like nobody has to, but like that if we did want to do the pop-up tent and the chalk donation, that could be, a time. But also knowing that we have summers are really busy, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there in case anyone was interested in that.
What are the dates one more time?
It's the 15th through the 21st, so I'm guessing that the weekend that
Is
was
that
on.
August?
So July,
July.
so a week.
Yeah, so it'd probably be like, say
I
July
am
19th.
Not a
Yeah, that week. July's are busy for everybody. Which I think with the amount of things we have on our docket, it would be okay to kind of step away from the check donations for the time being, but I just wanted to kind of put it out there in case that was something we were interested in. But I think with all the arts things we're involved in elsewhere, it's like there'll be, there's lots going on with Summer Arts Festival that we'll be involved in.
Well, and honestly, like I have found, unless we are recruiting new members, to just fill out those bins, drop them off, and you can just come back and pick them up
Yeah,
later.
we
You don't really have to do the full tabling because we don't really, unless we have materials that we're promoting, which I mean, we could talk about that.
Yeah, that is, I was planning to show the public art app I've been working on. I need slightly more time.
Yeah.
So on the letter of
We've been
recommendation.
Putting out so much.
Yeah.
in that
But
last
it's almost done. I think I've got it all. It's just trying to make the map look legible.
Right.
But the hope is
year.
then,
Incredible.
luckily I've done a lot of maps at this point, but yeah, the hope is then that then we could use what remaining promotion dollars we have to print some of those and then visit Helena. I think would love to have them. And then if we were to do any future events, we would actually have,
Have materials,
yeah, exactly.
But also, like, I think the last couple of years has really just been about
Getting that list together in the first place. The first challenge. But yeah, so that could be something, I mean, we've got time if one of us did want to, put the chalk out somewhere for that Summer Arts Festival.
I could maybe pull that off.
Yeah,
Just
try to
dropping
help
off the
with that
bins.
too. I'll be out of town for a little bit, but
Mhm.
the weekend I'll be here.
Yeah, and I think I'm planning to be here that weekend too, so that
Where
could
is
be good.
Yeah.
I think it's all over, it's kind of like a spring art walk, but it's summer art walk,
Okay. Cool.
but they're doing it as like a whole week of activities. But then it's still just like the summer, like the Friday night.
Yeah.
Thing, at least that's kind of how I understood it.
Just the Friday night.
Yeah, so that might be something we could kind of shoot
Okay.
for, that's easy enough to, give the donation, take the bins back. Of if there is any chalk remaining.
I'm gonna have to revisit that in our June meeting.
Totally,
If I'm
there's time, but
available.
yeah, there's something we kind of keep on our plates. There's nothing we have to like get in the books for definitively. Yeah, any other announcements?
Juneteenth will be happening between the Holton, the Myrna Loy, the city, and the Lewis and Clark Brewing Company and the Montana Historical Society.
Wow.
So all these groups have gotten together, hosted or like organized by the Historical Society to put on like a week of Juneteenth events. So that will be kicking off on June 19th at Alive at 5 downtown, and then there will be like a week of a lot of things going on. So the city's hosting a barbecue, movies, and DJs and art events all over town. So keep an eye out for that. I don't think that the marketing has hit quite yet, but it will be forthcoming.
Exciting.
That leads me to a separate question, but I thought Lewis and Clark Brewery was gonna do the music, and now I just saw something that 10 Mile's gonna have music.
He's
Also,
moving the event around to different places. I think he's doing,
It's
like
different about.
half of them are gonna be at the brewery. He's got one in Reader's Alley, one at.
Okay,
some
there was a whole bunch of dates for 10 Mile,
Mhm.
a whole bunch of dates, okay.
It's separate. And so Live at 5 happens on Wednesdays, and I think what you're looking at is Live on the Gulch, and that happens on.
Yeah, but Alive at 5 isn't happening, right?
It is.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's happening at Lewis and Clark.
Part half and half. Women's Park and Lewis and Clark.
Oh, okay, so
Very
it's still kinda happening, okay.
It is.
I thought it was just like all moved to the brewery and then this other Gulch thing popped up, so. It's very confusing, thank you.
Helena's got all sorts of stuff going
Yeah.
on these days. Let's go. And then items for next agenda. We'll just kind of keep working on that catalog and documenting these things and all the information we can find, and just so we have it as in one central place. And so I'll kind of be reaching out to everyone. No less than a week before our next meeting, so that way I have time to kind of compile it to give it to city staff. So I'll give everyone a week warning before the week deadline, to then kind of give us time to get all that stuff together. I'm finally getting better about planning far enough ahead, not just being in a panic. As well as hopefully I'll have the public art map for us to review and the letter of recommendation finished.
Do you need any of those to be delegated? I could take the letter if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be wonderful. I'll send it the editable one, but especially kind of to get multiple hands on it, I think would be really good.
Okay, sounds
And who do we know with the BID if we were to kind of reach out to some of these other entities? I know Emerita Arts expressed interest in kind of also giving their support with this letter of saying that the Culture Center would be great, but
Indy's gone now, but
Yes.
I talk to him every day. I'll ask him who's there.
wonderful.
It's Megan on Stone Tree.
oh, really interesting.
Who?
Well,
For our letter of recommendation to the city council for future jury selections. I think it would be a good idea to form like a 2 or 3 person subcommittee and just draft that up and maybe bring it to next week to present to the HPAC for approval. What do you think of that? Is that something we should do? We were talking about drafting that letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week. Would anyone like to be on that subcommittee?
I could be on that, yeah.
I think it's 3 people or less. We can just do it quickly.
Mhm.
I would do that as well.
Find a date and
Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect.
I'm pretty open.
yeah,
Me too.
when will, so I think last month's meeting, when will that recording be available? Do we know? I'm just wondering, because that could be helpful for you guys with drafting that letter, so we
We
can,
can see what we said.
yeah,
Actually, I may keep off that just because I'm seeing that I'm going to be busier than what my commitment is. Yes, right now is going to be
My
realistic
problem.
for me, so I'm gonna step back up. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay. Who isn't here today?
Chelsea's not here.
Chelsea, Emily, and Renee, her newest.
yeah, so maybe you could.
Yeah,
Reach
I
out
think
and
if
see
you're
if one
not
of
here,
them-
you get an assignment, so.
Well, and one of my hesitations is I haven't been on that board long enough to like have been through that process where you approved those ones. But Chelsea has, so Chelsea might be.
Mhm.
She wasn't here much longer than me, because she's the one who took it. So-
But I think that's also really important to, is that everybody jumps in and gets some experience on all the processes whenever there's opportunities to do so.
Yeah, we'll invite Chelsea. If not, you and I can just meet in
fine.
the barn or something and hash it out.
Mhm.
I think it'll be easy.
It's fine.
Great, let's see, and then, public comment.
I'm sorry, I'm always. Slide 7.
Okay. Well, my name is Ashley again, and I feel silly because I just learned about this group like last week thanks to Amanda's presentation at 10 Mile. And just want to thank you guys for all of your effort. My husband's one of the owners of 10 Mile, so I'm here to answer any 10 Mile related questions. But really quickly, I just wanted to plug my own project. I'm working on building a boutique hotel on Lindale right next to Starbucks. So we demoed the Memorial Park apartments and we're just going to be building on the western half of the lot. It's independent, it's just owned and ran by us. It'll be small, 14 rooms, so 2 stories, 7 on bottom, 7 on top. But the whole mission is really to support everything local about Helena. And one of the things that makes Helena so special and unique is the art. So we really want it to be full of art from the inside out. We're planning our own murals. We'll have more than 1.5% of art, don't worry, it's gonna be full. We're planning a big collaboration with the Archie Gray Foundation. Our public building permit is with the city right now. It's a 4 to 6 week process. We're a few weeks in, so we're hoping to be breaking ground mid-June. And then at that point, we're gonna kind of put out a call to artists so we can start filling it up with all sorts of great local art. So just wanted to share that with you guys in hopes that you can kind of spread the message out there and start sending artists our way.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, the awesome thing about that site too is that we're in 2 districts, so we're technically in downtown and in the railroad district, so we overlap. We're really gonna be advocating for a lot of things happening in that area. Memorial Park, we feed into the 6th ward, so that's another hotspot for us. And the community is really our biggest amenity, so however we can support the community and get people to visit Helena, the better. And I think the art is a really awesome way to do that. So that's also why I share a lot about the team and also participate at those meetings. So happy to share information back and forth. That's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever that call for artists is available, feel free to share it to like the Rodney Arts page and we can reshare it.
Okay, so great, thank you.
Yeah, any other thoughts before we think about adjourning?
Move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second that motion.
Great, thanks, guys.
Great, thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and back and go.